Ever wondered what deals we're working on at DIT Capital Advisors, how we're structuring deals, and how do we even get our deals? How do we get it to the finish line? And how we continue to keep our clients happy and satisfied? Guess what? I'm going to start talking about deals that we currently have, how we do it, why we do it, and when we finish our deals, what happens next. So stick around. I'll go through one live deal that we currently are working on right now. So it's a loan scenario I'm going to provide you guys with. This is called a DSCR loan. What is a DSCR loan? Usually, that loan is for 1 to 4 families investment property. It's a property that you're not going to live in. It's a property exclusively that you're going to rent out to collect a rental income, pay your expenses with your mortgage, and hopefully you have a profit. How do we structure these deals? What type of investors want to do a DSCR loan? Why are they doing a DSCR loan? And why has it become so popular in 2026? Here we go. So the type of investor that asks for a DSCR loan is typically the person that does not have a high personal income or business income that they're not showing on their business tax returns. So conventional financing, when you go for a mortgage, requires you to put down X amount of dollars at a percentage, and then you need to have the personal income and business income to support that obligation. You need to have a DTI, usually no more than 45%, and an LTV that does not exceed 75% in the investment world. Most business owners have decided that, look, I do not show high W-2 income, high personal income, or my net income on my business is not at a high level. And that's perfectly fine. Everyone takes advantage of the tax system that is in play. The IRS says, hey, take as much deductions for your business that is legally allowed, right? You have so many opportunities to write your income down all the way to probably even a net loss, and you're still very profitable because you can run a different model to show the IRS how you're profitable. What documents are needed for a DSCR loan? First, you should have a credit score of at least 670 to get a decent pricing. It's not going to be the best. You want the excellent best pricing, 750 plus always gets you the best pricing. I tell all my clients that. Number 2, you need to have the verified funds in your bank account at present. We need to see 2 to 3 months of your bank statements showing that you have the 20% down, plus your closing costs, plus reserves, which can be 3 to all the way 12 months worth of payments. So guys, it's not just the down payment, it's not just the closing costs, it's also your monthly payments times 3, 6, or 12 months. Again, it all depends on the transaction and how strong you are as a guarantor. Now that you have the basics, you submit your file into the bank, we go over it, and then we figure out what the property value will be through an appraiser. Appraiser gives you the value with the current rents that they believe it should be if it's vacant, or we honor the current rents that are in place. We get a DSCR ratio, and then we submit it to underwriting to underwrite the file. Underwriters always come back with questions pertaining to the transaction and to the borrower. It is your knowledge for you to understand that these will be brought to you by your broker or your banker, and they'll walk you through the questions and help you along the way. Ultimately, once you get the final approval, you'll set up a closing date with your attorney, your title company, to ultimately get you to the closing table. And that's how you obtain a DSCR loan. Get a 1.0 ratio with a good credit score, show that you have the money in the bank, that you can cover closing costs, down payment, and have reserves, and you're on your way to buying your investment property. No longer need to give 10,000 documents to a bank. Make it simple, make it easy, and rates are very good in DSCRs today. Figure out a way. This is how you figure out a way to solve a problem in the world of buying investment properties. And that's why more business people are buying real estate, because they're using the DSCR loan process. So here is the live scenario that we're working on right now. We have a client that's purchasing a property out in Brooklyn, New York. It's for $900,000. This is a live scenario. It's a DSCR loan. We are not showing any personal tax returns or any personal W-2s or pay stubs or anything that dictates what your personal income is. All we're doing is seeing the property's income. So we have a $900,000 purchase. We're doing max LTV, 80% financing, meaning the loan amount is going to be $720,000. All we need from that client is the current rents in that property that they're buying. So this scenario is a two-family, $900,000 purchase, $720,000 loan amount, 80% financing, two tenants. One tenant will stay, the other tenant will be leaving. That's actually the owner of the property. It's going to be vacant, meaning that you're going to have one rental income in place already, and then the second rental income is not in place until the new owner takes possession. So how do we get this deal approved? Well, it's quite simple. Once we submit the file, we use the current rent of $2,700. That's an existing tenant. And then we send the appraiser out to make sure the property is actually worth $900,000. We verify that $2,700 current rent roll. And then we do an appraiser's approach where they use a market analysis to see what that vacant unit is going to be worth, and we give them that dollar amount. So if the appraiser comes back and says, hey, we believe the second unit is worth $3,000, we will give them the $3,000 in rental income. Now, here's a caveat. Number one, some banks will give you the full $3,000 based on the appraiser's approach and what he puts in the appraiser's report, or some banks might give you 75% of the $3,000. It all depends on which institution you go for. So in this instance, we're getting 100% of the rents that the appraiser is saying. So we're going to get $3,000 plus the $2,700. Now we have a total loan amount, a total rental income of $5,700. That's how easy it takes to get a DSCR loan approved. We have $5,700. We know what the expenses are on the property, which is just simple. The insurance and the taxes. The tenants are going to pay their own utilities except for water. So we will only count the water because New York City requires the landlord to pay for the water as an expense. So $5,700 in monthly rental income. Then you have your taxes, insurance, and your utilities. That's it. Whatever is left over will go to service the mortgage. This particular scenario, we're at a 1.13 DSCR. A 1.13 DSCR gets you an approval in today's market for your mortgage at 80% financing. It all depends on which bank you use for your DSCR loans, but banks will go below 1% in a DSCR ratio. It's called no ratio. But for this particular purpose, our client has a really high credit score, over 750. He has a primary property, and he has good rental income that will support greater than a 1.0 debt service coverage, which we're at 1.13. He has a rate that will qualify him to get the mortgage at a 1.13. Ultimately, what that simply means is that he's qualified based on one tenant in place, one vacant unit that will be rented out as per appraiser's supposed rental income, and then he has a property at 80% leverage. He's taking max leverage ratio on this property. He has a 1.13 DSCR coverage, which simply means for every dollar he's borrowing from the bank, the rental property has a 113%, 13% over the allotted monthly payment, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And that's how simple it is to get approved for a DSCR loan. And that's how we close loans at DIT. We stay focused. We do DSCR loans. We do commercial real estate. We do business financing. Every week, we're going to talk about the new deals that we have in our pipeline. I'm going to educate you guys on why it's important to understand how you structure deals. And as always, stick around, leave your comments below, and let us know your opinions and your thoughts about the DSCR loan process or anything regarding loans.